Hey, everyone. It is me, Valerie Revis, your event coordinator, designer, and strategist. How are you doing on this lovely Thursday? No? Is it Thursday? I don't even know what today is. That's bad. That is not good. It's Thursday. Okay, so how are you doing on this lovely Thursday evening? We are on day 4 of our live 7-day live challenge. And on tonight, we have a special guest that is going to be with us. I will be bringing her on very shortly here. But before we bring her on, just wanted to do a recap over the last 3 days. So the first day we talked about the what, when, the where, and the how. And I told you guys about a little story about what I went through and how I realized that I would never let anyone devalue what I do ever again, and I'm going to show up as myself and attract the clients that are looking for me. Um, and then day 2, we talked about, what did we talk about on day 2? Day 2, we talked about those ideal clients. Yes, we did. Day 3, we discussed those fears. Now, we were going to dig deeper a little bit yesterday into the ideal client, but we're going to do that on tonight. And that is why I brought on this special guest with me. Guys, as you're coming in, let me know who you are, where you're from, and go ahead and share for me. Share. Sharing is caring. So that is why I brought on this special guest with me tonight, and we are just going to dig a little deeper into the attracting your ideal client. And I am going to bring her on, Miss Rashaunda King. How are you doing on this absolutely great Thursday?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Okay, so Miss Rashaunda King has been kicking it with me for a very long time in this business. In this business journey, she's kind of been like in the background the whole time, like cheering me on. I'm like, yes, girl. So she is also an event planner designer. Well, are you an event planner or designer?
Designer.
Designer. Okay, so she's a designer. And she is going to let you know a little bit about her business, kind of give you an idea of what she does, kind of give you an idea of how we met, and then we can go on into our client attraction. Again, guys, as you're coming in, let me know who you are and where you're from, and go ahead and share. And also let me know if you can hear us. Okay, so I'm giving you the floor, Miss Rashonda.
Okay. Um, my business is custom event creations. I've been in business, I would say, around 3 years. I started out with family, and then I went ahead and registered my business probably like a few months into doing decorations, and been doing it ever since. I met Valerie. I found her on YouTube. I also, like, she was one of the people that inspired me to start a YouTube channel and also to do like DIYs. So that's how I kind of started out with doing DIYs, centerpieces and stuff like that. Um, and I think that's about it. She's been very supportive to me as a event designer because I came in brand new and I didn't know anything, and I took a class with you. I think it was like a workshop or something like that. And she kind of went over the business with me, like how, to price myself and just like the business aspect of it.
Okay, all right. So, so what was it? So we're gonna go over this because this is kind of how we can start out this client attraction. So what was it about me that attracted you to me?
I would just say your creativity. So your
Okay.
creativity, and then I think I eventually joined your group, and then I heard about you were offering some type of training in the business, and I signed up for it.
Okay. All right. Because I remember when you had signed up for that course, you was like, I was waiting for you to say something about a course. So okay, so we're gonna get into this client attraction. So um let's talk a little bit about attracting your ideal client. So I always hear event creatives talking about, they can never find the clients that are going to pay them. And we were just having a conversation outside of us coming on live.
Yeah.
And she's not the only one. I'm not the only one. There are so many event creatives that are out here that are struggling with the exact same thing, trying to attract those clients that are going to pay you what you're worth, because a lot of people do not know what we do. They don't know that all of these designs that come together, they're not together when they come to us. We have to put everything together. There's a lot of work, um, a lot of sweat, blood, and tears that goes into us getting those events together. And all they see is the beautiful outcome. And they think it's so easy until they actually step into it. And I was going to tell a little story because some friends of mine, for my 50th birthday, so they decided they wanted to go ahead and plan something for me. Well, they were asking me if I was doing anything. And I said, well, no, because, once you've been planning something for everybody else, you really don't feel like planning for yourself. So I
Mhm.
was like, no, I said, I'm not going to do anything. And they were like, well, you have to do something. It's your 50th. I said, well, if you guys can take it over and do what you do, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So I gave them the ideas like, here you go. You can have it. And when I tell you, they were like, and you do this for a living? It was like, what? Why would you want to do this? Because it was one thing after the other, and
Mhm.
they didn't want to tell me because they knew I would just jump in and start working. So they
Yes.
didn't want to tell me anything, and they tried to work through it. But it got to a point where it was just too much. So I had to jump in.
Mhm.
But anyways, I just had to tell that story because a lot of people think there's that it's so easy when it's not.
Mhm.
Uh, So when you're talking about your ideal client, a lot of people are saying, well, I can't find, I can't find. It's not about finding, it's about attracting.
Mhm.
If you continue to do what you're doing and you show up in your boldness, show up in your authenticity, people are going to come your way. People buy from you, or they purchase from you, or they contact you, they hire you because of you.
Mhm.
When you're showing up and you're showing what you can do and how excellent you do it, people will show up. Sometimes we have a problem with that, trying to look and find and whatever. You'll be doing that forever.
Mhm.
Okay. You look and find it, it'll be searched all over, couldn't find nobody. I looked high and low, still couldn't find nobody. You'll be doing that forever.
Yes.
Because it's not about finding, it's about attracting. It's about you actually doing what you do and showing up in your excellence. And
Yes.
it's also about figuring out who your ideal client is. If you don't know who it is, then how do you know who you're talking to?
Mhm.
Okay. So that's what we're going to get into a little bit today. Um, Now, me and you went through this exercise together, and
Yes.
we talked about, who you wanted your ideal client to be. Do you remember?
Um. Yes. I
Okay.
have a lot
So,
of details from it.
okay. So, we're going to go through it a little bit. So, we always know that we need to figure out what their age is, what their income is, where they live, what
Mhm.
their interests are, what their hobbies are. Where would they go? How do they feel about certain things? There's a lot of things that go into trying to figure out who your ideal client is.
Mhm.
So in your case, let's go through what we said. I wish I had that worksheet. So in your case, what did we name her? We gave her a name.
Um. I'm not
With
sure the name, but I do remember her profile. I do remember.
okay, all right, okay. So when we talked about her profile, so how old was she?
Um. I believe like in her 30s.
Okay. So she's in her 30s.
30s,
Okay.
let's say maybe 30s or 40s.
Okay. And then what is her profession?
I said her profession was a nurse.
Okay.
Like,
So we know nurses make, depending on how they work,
mm-hmm,
anywhere between, I want to say about 60K to 100K,
mm-hmm,
somewhere in there. So now we have the income. Now
yes.
we need to figure out where they live. So where does she live?
I would say in like a suburban area, like especially in Michigan, it would probably be a suburban area. Not
Okay.
saying I don't stay in Detroit, but
Okay. So she lives in a suburban area.
hmm
And then we talked about what her interests are. Like, what are her hobbies?
we said like probably shopping and or taking trips and stuff.
Okay.
Because it's a career woman, so I'm pretty sure when she gets off, she's taking some type of trip or something. I think we said traveling.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. All right. Hey, Rebecca. Who else is in here? Dr. Kanisha. Thank you all for joining us. Anybody else that has joined us, please let us know who you are and where you're from and go ahead and share. Okay, so we have her name, we
Mhm.
have her age, we have her profession, we have her income, we know where she lives,
Mhm.
and we know her interests.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing we want to do is figure out what she likes to do other than traveling. So we know she might like to travel. What else would she like to do?
I believe we said something like spend time with family. Um, what else did we say? Travel, spend time with family. And I believe we even talked about where she shops at. I don't know if we said that was one of her hobbies,
Mhm.
but we just kind of talked about where would she be, like what type of shops or
Right.
shopping places would she be
Yeah. Where would she hang out at? So
in.
where would she shop?
I think you kind of gave me some
I
suggestions on.
think we kind of went high end on that one.
Yeah,
So she would probably shop at some place like
a Gucci shop, and then it was
mhm,
yeah.
Gucci, Jimmy Choo, Zeke. What is happening? Sorry about that. We just went into straight praise mode.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
Mhm.
Um, so now we know where she shops. Okay, so as a nurse, what kind of concerns would she have about just anything? What kind of concerns would she have?
We talked about like this person will probably work long hours and probably
Hmm.
be like you know, like since they work long hours, they would be tired. And so something like an event, they will probably want somebody else to handle that for them because of them being working long hours.
Okay.
Hmm
So we want to make sure that we are providing her with the best service, which means if she's working long hours, she does not want to plan, coordinate, or decorate anything.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we're taking care of her. So this is just a little bit of how you would figure out who your client is. Now that you figured out just a little bit of who that person is, now you can start to talk to that person and relate to that person because you know that she's a traveler. So when you go and you travel, maybe you want to post something that says, I'm able to do this because I do this. You
hmm
know, if you're spending time with your family, you can post something that say, I'm able to spend time with my family because the clients that I talk to allow me to do this, or the clients that I work with allow me to do this.
hmm
There's ways that you can use these points in who this person is, who this client is, to kind of talk to her to say, okay, you like this kind of thing, so I want to show you what I do when I do this.
hmm
And then, we can kind of touch on that kind of point. So it's kind of client when you're trying to now I'm speaking in tongue. When you're trying to attract, when you're attracting your ideal client, you're touching them on a personal level. They're not looking for you because of what you offer. They're looking at you because of who you are. People buy from you because they have a deep feeling. People buy on feelings. So they buy from you because they have a feeling. When you were attracted to me, it was because you saw what I was doing. You were there was something there that made you decide to work with me. And I think when we talked, it was on a deeper level because you was like, I feel like you're, spiritual, and I just wanted to connect. So it's more on a deeper level. People buy from you because it's a deeper level for them. They can trust you if
Mhm.
you're showing up consistently and showing up as your authentic self and not trying to be somebody else, not trying to take on somebody else's, um, identity, then they're more prone to buy from you.
Mhm.
So that is all about, um, getting to know who you are, what you do, and having a passion for it. When you show up with that passion, people are going to be attracted to that. So, guys, again, as you're coming in, let me know who you are, where you from, and go ahead and share for me. So, when you position yourself for clients to find you, it takes the guesswork out of wondering if they are willing to pay your fees or not.
Mhm.
Had to say that. Had to put that in there because that's a true statement. If
Mhm.
you are attracting them, then you don't have to worry about if they're going to pay your fees
Mhm.
because they came over to pay your fees.
Yes.
So yes. So the other thing we were going to talk about is I was just going to kind of stick this in there, and it has a lot to do. Hi, Norma. Um, it has a lot to do with your pricing as well, because when you're talking about client attraction, you can't leave pricing out because pricing and attracting that client also goes hand in hand. One of the things that I do as far as so that I know that I'm attracting the correct client is in my drop down menu. If you have your, I don't know if you have an online intake form or contact form. Okay, so on your contact form, you should have that space that says budget.
Mhm.
Don't leave that space open.
Mhm.
What you need to do is have a drop down menu. In that drop down menu, whatever your minimum is that you will take needs to be that first line.
And I
That way,
I have that. I have a minimum budget on there.
there you go. That way, you are not attracting the clients that's going to pay you. If they see that minimum,
Mhm.
then that's my minimum. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're not going any lower than that.
Mhm.
Um, so that's a good tip to have. Um, Also, the way I've set up my packages now is so that the clients that I attract, they see the value in it. So I was talking to you a little bit earlier about, when I set my packages up, I set them up in a way that the client that is looking for me is going to know that um, the way my packages are set up, it's set up that way. So when they come to me, they're going to say, okay, they're going to either see the value in it or they're not.
Mhm.
So that will eliminate a lot too. So there's just certain things that you can kind of tweak and work around to make sure that you are getting those clients that you're you're looking for that are
Okay.
going to pay your prices. Um, so we won't get all into that pricing and stuff like that because that's going to be in another lesson. We can't get into that today. But so did I say anything that helped you out a little bit more today?
Yes, you did. Definitely.
Okay. um, so let me go and okay. So now here's your homework.
Okay.
You got homework. Actually, anybody that's joining has homework tonight. Okay, so here's your homework. So I want you to find that person that you think would be your ideal client, and I want you to interview them.
Okay.
So anybody that you've been maybe following or you've talked to, maybe it's somebody that you work with or anybody that you think would be your ideal client. Maybe it's your manager or supervisor or whoever it is. Whoever it is, I want you to interview them, and then I want you to let us know how the interview went and what you learned.
Okay.
Because talking to people that are in the position to be the client that you're trying to attract, you can find out information from them as well. So you get valuable information from them, which will help you when you're talking to your ideal client, whatever her name is. We forgot what her name was.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
You got to pull out that worksheet, ma'am.
Yes.
So, and that's going to help you to talk to those people that you're trying to attract.
Okay.
Yeah. So, whatever information you receive from them, let us know what it is because it's going to be some good information to share. And a lot of people are not doing that, and they really should. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, that is all we have for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Miss Rashaunda King, for being on this live with us on today. I am so glad that you were able to make it,
Mm-hmm.
seeing as though I did contact you at the last minute. But thank you so much. If you are watching the replay, please comment #replay in the comments. And thank you guys so much again. We will be leaving it for the night. And as always, be royale, be classy, and
Be creative.
yay! All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.